If you are operating in below freezing temperatures, you may want to use the optional ether starting aid. Go through the same steps, but push in, then release the ether starting aid switch while you crank the engine. Operate the ether switch every 2 seconds until the engine runs smoothly. To begin the shutdown procedure, first move your machine off the road to a level area. Set the parking brake and lower the implements to the ground. Then apply a slight downward pressure to the mold board. Turn off the key and remove it. Always maintain 3 points of contact when entering or exiting the cab. Then turn off the main disconnect key. The implement controls on the Caterpillar H-Series motor graders are designed to reduce operator fatigue. Properly spaced control levers and short lever throws allow you to use multiple controls with one hand. There are some basic rules to keep in mind for the H-Series implement controls. An important safety note: always ground the mold board, gripper, or snow wing before stopping the engine. If you don't, the implement could lower suddenly. Moving a control lever forward will lower or move the implement to the left. Pull a lever back toward you, it will raise or move the implement to the right. The implement controls are modulated. That means that a small movement of the lever results in a slow, precise implement movement. The implement moves faster or farther as you increase lever travel. Lever throw is 3/4 of an inch each way. Lever efforts have been reduced to about 3 pounds for comfortable operation all day long. When the machine has reached operating temperatures, raise the blade, release the parking brake, select a speed and direction, and set the throttle control. The 2 outside levers are blade lift controls. We'll illustrate with the right one. Moving it forward lowers the right end of the blade. Pulling it back raises the right end of the blade. Move the blade lift lever completely forward. This puts the right cylinder in float. Hydraulic oil now moves freely between the head end and the rod end of the blade lift cylinder. The blade will move up and down under its own weight, and you can float one or both ends of the blade at the same time. A good example of when to use blade float is when you're working on snow. The blade side shift control lets you shift the mold board side to side on the circle. Forward for the left, back to the right. Use the side shift controls when working around objects like curves, or to get maximum reach with the mold board. Changing the angle of the circle allows you to change the mold board cutting angle. This is important for better material movement on the blade, or mixing materials, and to narrow or widen the cutting width. With the blade square to the frame, the blade is said to be an angle of 0 degrees. The blade angle is usually between 30 and 45 degrees to the frame. In general, the circle will be at a flatter angle, 30 to 35 degrees for dry material, and at a steeper angle for wet, cohesive material. The blade side shift and circle controls are frequently used together. For example, moving both levers forward moves the circle counterclockwise, the toes to the right, and mold board side shifts to the left on the circle. This allows you to position the blade quickly while turning around to get ready for the next cutting pass. Move both levers to the rear to make the circle rotate clockwise, and the blade moves right on the circle. Move this lever to lower or raise a front scarifier or a rear ripper scarifier if your machine is equipped with one. Tipping the blade allows you to change the cutting edge approach angle to the ground. Move the lever forward and the top of the blade tips forward. Move it back and the top of the blade moves back. Normally, a grader will move material across the area being graded, not straight ahead. You can move more material if it rolls off the blade rather than being bulldozed. Keep the material rolling by changing tip position slightly as the material slows.